A brand new high-resolution photo of the interstellar item 3I Atlas captured on November 28 from an effective telescope in Utah delivered a forensic glimpse so sharp and so structurally unsettling that it reignited worldwide debate over an object already steeped in controversy. The picture, first analyzed by independent astronomers and later referenced in a broadly circulated IB Times file, revealed a luminosity profile that bore none of the chaotic scattering anticipated of a natural comet. As an alternative, it confirmed directional brightness, defined gradients, and a strangely coherent center. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb publicly mentioned that the Utah frame resembled a controlled emission pattern, a phrase that sent shockwaves through the scientific world. The idea was not that 3I Atlas was synthetic, but that its light behaved like something influenced, confined, or shaped by an underlying process. Classical comet physics predicted turbulence, fragmentation, and unpredictable flares. But here was a body that seemed almost engineered symmetrical in places where nature should be messy, concentrated where it should diffuse, structured where it should dissolve. Many dismissed the claim, insisting that extraordinary lighting or observational artifacts could explain the effect. But for those who analyzed the Utah picture closely, the sense of unease did not fade. It deepened. That unease only grew when two developments emerged almost concurrently, each pointing back to the same central question raised by the Utah picture. First, a private research collective found that NASA's high-rise camera aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter had captured full-resolution multiband imagery of 3I Atlas that was quietly omitted from the public archive, leaving only a single degraded grayscale strip in its place. Metadata confirmed the camera had fired perfectly across all channels, contradicting NASA's claim that the item was too obscure to image well. Then the United Nations unexpectedly placed 3I Atlas under a planetary defense monitoring exercise via the International Asteroid Warning Network, an action normally reserved for extreme uncertainty or high-complexity objects. The timing, secrecy, and international coordination effort contrasted sharply with NASA's insistence that nothing unusual was happening. Together, the metadata discrepancy and the UN mobilization formed a bridge back to Avi's initial warning. If the emission pattern was regular, why withhold the best images ever taken? If the object was harmless, why activate a system designed for potential threats? The same anxiety embedded in the Utah photo now echoed across policy, technology, and global response, creating the sense that 3I Atlas was not simply unusual, it was being treated as if it carried a significance not yet disclosed publicly. These developments sharpened attention on the anomalies already surrounding 3I Atlas, particularly those highlighted in the IB Times report that sparked the controversy. The most striking anomaly was the structured luminosity itself. Comets emit light in messy gradients attributable to uneven outgassing, tumbling rotation, and particle distribution. They flicker, flare, obscure, and deform as jets of gas erupt from their surface. But 3I Atlas refused to follow the script. Its brightness remained remarkably stable over long periods, with gradients that aligned far too well to be random. Instead of a fuzzy halo, it possessed a firm, coherent core whose intensity seemed constrained, almost guided. The Utah picture revealed subtle banding patterns within the luminosity, the kind associated with controlled illumination sources rather than sublimating ice. Then came the sunward plume, an extension of material that appeared to point directly toward the sun, contradicting the expectation that solar radiation pressure should push dust and gas away from it. While there are edge case scenarios in which an antitail can appear to point sunward, the geometry here did not align with known conditions. The plume held shape longer than it should have, and its orientation shifted more slowly than models predicted. Add to this the reports of non-gravitational acceleration, a characteristic shared with only a handful of documented objects. Outgassing can cause slight deviations, but the deviations observed for 3I Atlas were unusually smooth and directional. They resembled thrust, weak, steady, controlled rather than the irregular nudges produced by sublimating volatiles. The anomalies didn't stop with the Utah image or the reported accelerations. Several observatories detected luminosity patterns inconsistent with dust scattering, suggesting reflectance differences across the object's surface. Others noted the absence of chaotic morphological changes normally expected as a comet approaches the Sun and undergoes rotational stress. Even its coma behaved oddly, forming a compact structure with defined edges instead of the diffuse, ever-changing envelope common in active comets. These characteristics collectively defied simple classification. Each anomaly could possibly be explained on its own, an unusual composition here, an odd rotational state there, but together they formed a constellation of behaviors that strained natural explanations. Loeb's phrase controlled emission pattern lingered not because it implied intelligence, but because it implied stability, coherence, and precision qualities seldom seen in natural observational phenomena. In a purely scientific context, such consistency should not be possible. Yet, while these anomalies fueled speculation and scientific intrigue, mainstream researchers strongly cautioned against leaping to extraordinary conclusions. They emphasized that interstellar objects form under conditions vastly different from those of our solar system. Their chemical histories, structural compositions,